Who is Rene Nicole Good? The human story behind the name. Rene Nicole Good was a 37-year-old U.S. citizen, a mother, writer, and community member whose life ended in a fatal confrontation with a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agent in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on January 7, 2026. A life and identity. Family and personal life. Good was a devoted mother of 3 children, including a 6-year-old son whose father died in 2023. She was with her partner and family in Minneapolis at the time of the incident. Background. Originally from Colorado, Good lived in multiple cities before settling in Minneapolis. She described herself on social media as a poet, writer, wife, and mom, and had studied creative writing at Old Dominion University, where she won a poetry prize in 2020. Character. Family and neighbors remember her as compassionate, loving, and kind-hearted, devoted to caring for others throughout her life. Her mother said she was one of the kindest people I've ever known, and that she wasn't involved in protests or actions against ICE. Good was not reportedly the target of the federal operation, and there's no evidence she had a violent or criminal history. The shooting, conflicting accounts and chaos on Minneapolis streets. What happened on January 7, 2026? ICE agents were conducting what federal officials described as an enforcement operation in Minneapolis, described by the administration as one of the agency's largest deployments in the Twin Cities. According to multiple reports and released video footage, Good was in her vehicle, reportedly after dropping off a child, when she encountered ICE agents on a residential street. Videos show ICE agents approaching her SUV and issuing conflicting orders. One agent tried to open her car door, and as the vehicle began to move, possibly attempting to leave or avoid confrontation, an ICE agent fired multiple shots, striking Good. She was hit and later pronounced dead from her injuries. Disputed narratives. There are sharply contrasting claims from federal officials and eyewitnesses. Federal government account. The Department of Homeland Security and ICSI officials claimed the agent acted in self-defense, alleging Good attempted to ram agents with her vehicle, ignored orders to exit the car, and endangered law enforcement personnel. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and President Donald Trump both defended the officer's actions and described the situation as violent resistance. Eyewitness and video evidence. Bystanders and video footage, cited in multiple news sources, contradict key elements of the federal narrative, showing Good's vehicle moving away and no clear evidence of agents being hit by her car. Some witnesses describe her as frightened and trying to remove herself from a chaotic scene. Aftermath, outrage, protests, and political fallout. The killing has ignited national outrage and heated debate. Local and political response. Minneapolis officials, including Mayor Jacob Fry and the City Council, condemned the killing as reckless and unnecessary, calling for ICE to withdraw from the city. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has supported calls for accountability and oversight, even issuing warning orders for the National Guard amid fears of escalating unrest. Democratic lawmakers, including Senator Tina Smith, have mourned Good as a citizen whose life was needlessly taken. Public protests and activism. Thousands have taken to the streets in cities across the U.S., from Minneapolis to New York, Chicago, and more, protesting the shooting and broader ICE enforcement practices. Some demonstrators carry signs reading "Justice for Rene Good" and "ICE out of our communities." Legal and criminal inquiry. State prosecutors and civil rights advocates are exploring whether the ICE agents' actions constitute criminal conduct. Local authorities say they have jurisdiction to pursue charges, although federal and state processes could complicate the legal path forward. What this means going forward. The killing of Rene Nicole Good has become more than a tragic death. It's now a flashpoint in the ongoing struggle over federal immigration enforcement tactics, use of deadly force by law enforcement, civil rights and community safety, political polarization in the U.S. Supporters of Good's family and critics of ICE see her death as emblematic of systemic issues around policing and immigration enforcement. Meanwhile, federal officials argue the episode underscores the risks agents face during volatile operations and defend the legality of the officer's conduct. In remembrance, Rene Nicole Good's life, as a mother, writer, and loved community member, has touched many and added a human dimension to a deeply contentious national debate. Today, her name is chanted in protests, memorialized online, and invoked in urgent calls for accountability and reform. Her family, friends, and supporters continue to mourn, even as investigations and political discourse unfold.